I'm going to talk about the research original pivotal study that was done in 2014 that studied the new reshaped dual balloon that was recently FDA approved in August. The study was a blinded sham-controlled two-arm study where they compared patients that had a reshaped dual balloon and patients that combined with diet and exercise as compared to patients that just had diet and exercise. It was about 320 patients were enrolled in the study. 2/3 received the balloon, 1/3 did not receive the balloon. After 6 months, the patients did not have the balloon were given the option to get the balloon at that point. It was studied patients from BMIs of 30 to 40, which is what the FDA approval is for the reshaped balloons. So it's the obesity population of the United States, which the nice thing about being able to offer reshape now in practice is that it targets a huge population that's available. About 35 to 40% of Americans are obese. So there's a lot of patients out there that are candidates for the reshaped balloon. Their study showed that 28% excess weight loss in the patients that had the reshaped dual balloon as compared to 11.3% excess weight loss in patients that did not get the balloon. And they were the only balloon study for the FDA that reached its primary endpoints. The control group didn't really have any side effects, but the reshaped balloon group, patients when they get the balloon, they get a lot of nausea, vomiting, and abdominal pain for the first 2 to 3 days. They get a lot of medications to help them through those first few days. Once they get past that hurdle, they're fine for the whole 6 months. And in the study, the only complications they saw, they did see some ulcers that were incidental when they took out the balloon at 6 months. But like I said, they redesigned the balloon halfway through and the ulcer rates went down dramatically. The other good thing about the reshaped balloon is that it's a double balloon versus the other balloons in the market are single balloons. So the safety profile is better as far as one of the risks of balloons is migration of balloons through the stomach. So one of the dangers of balloons is that if a balloon deflates, it can then pass out of the stomach into the intestines and cause a bowel obstruction. The reshaped dual balloon is a double balloon. It's 2 balloons filled independently but connected together. So it's much safer for patients in that you don't have to worry about balloons migrating out of the stomach. So that's a nice feature of the balloons. And they did have about a 5% single balloon deflation in this study, but none of the balloons migrated. So that was another great thing about the safety profile of the reshape versus the single balloons. Just that they had amazing weight loss. It was a safe procedure. They were able to put the balloon in all the subjects in the study were able to get the balloon safely. They had no major complications. They had some ulcers, but they redesigned the balloon halfway through the study and improved those ulcer rates. But the fact that they had excellent weight loss results was an amazing thing. Obesity, like I said earlier on, is a big epidemic in the United States. It's about 35 to 40% of Americans are obese, and those numbers on the rise. Previously, we only had bariatric surgery. I'm a bariatric surgeon, and we only had bariatric surgery to offer patients, and it was really designed for people with higher BMIs of 40 or 35 with comorbidities. And there's a huge patient population out there that had nothing that we had to offer them. The past 20 years, it's just surgery. And now we have a new endoscopic procedure we can do in the office that we can tap into a whole new patient population that before we had nothing really to offer these patients. It takes about 10 minutes. It's done in the office. We do it under sedation, so it's not anesthesia. Just like having an endoscopy, we put the balloons in about 10 minutes. Patients go home, the balloon's in for 6 months. After 6 months, we take the balloon out through another endoscopic procedure. Another nice thing about reshape is that we fill the balloons with saline with methylene blue, so that if the balloon deflates, they start urinating green. So reshape is the only balloon on the market right now FDA approved to use methylene blue in the solution, which is another nice safety feature. So if the patient urinates green, we know one balloon deflated and we can go in and take the balloon out. So far, since FDA approval this past August, I've put in 175 reshaped balloons. We've had some excellent results. Our data is better than the initial study in the US. The initial study showed about a 28% excess weight loss. We're seeing more in the order of about 40% excess weight loss. There's also a study done in Spain that showed about a 47-48% excess weight loss at 6 months. So I think that the data we're going to get in real after the FDA approval is going to be even better than the initial studies that were done in the United States, and we're seeing that in our office as well. I've had experience with the two balloons that are on the market, Obera and Reshape. My experience has been much better with the Reshape so far. I think one of the biggest issues that we're seeing with Reshape, and I think balloons in general, is the aftercare. So Reshape, one of the nice things they stress is as part of a full 1-year program, the balloon is not by itself. So combined with the balloon is nutrition, exercise, fitness is all very, very important part of the balloon success. One of the things we're looking at, we started a virtual aftercare program for our patients where we're letting patients do their nutrition visits and their fitness from home through one-on-one video sessions. And so far we're seeing a huge increase in compliance with patients. It's called Virtual Healthcare Partners. And it's really been an amazing thing that's really increased compliance with patients. Patients are much more apt to go on an iPhone or an Android or a computer and do a one-on-one video session with nutrition than come in my office. And we see that the patients that do the good aftercare programs are doing much better success with the balloons as opposed to patients previously where they would never come back for nutrition visits and the results weren't as good. So I think we're doing a study now looking at increased compliance of patients with the aftercare program with better weight loss by offering a virtual aftercare program to these patient population.